The lengths people will go to make sure that a birthday party starts on time. Despite a not very good over rate, we've got a total that the Mumbai Indians have bowled out the Sunrisers Hyderabad for to ensure that Sachin Tendulkar will have his party on the 24th of April. To discuss that and a little bit of cricket, Joy Bhattacharjya, Harsha Bhogle.
He's got a point of view on the time. He's got a strong view on the point.
With 18 overs and 4 balls.
Agreed. But let's not harp on the over rate. The fact is they've got only 119 to chase, so we can have an early party.
I'm hoping they'll have an early, but there should be no reason not to. From here, if they lose it, then they'll wonder. See, this year Mumbai Indians have found many different ways to lose. I'm sure today they won't find another new one.
It won't go to the last over.
Yeah, it won't.
Yeah.
As provided they don't go to the last over, they'll win.
Now, this is a great opportunity for Mumbai Indians to win it quickly. Because in spite of the fact that they're lower down, almost at the bottom of the table, their net run rate is very good.
And they need to improve it even further.
So if they pick up points here with good net run rate, and you know, a lot of people look at me and say, this guy's on, what's he smoking? What's he on about net run rate in a big tournament? And I keep telling them, it isn't just the 2014 game. It isn't just that Mumbai Indians Rajasthan Royals game where you went into a second decimal to check net run rate. But so many times teams are tied at 8 points. You know, we haven't had an odd numbered result yet.
Yes, no.
So we've had all even number points. There will be a tie somewhere. Very good chance there'll be a tie.
2010, 4 teams were tied on 14.
7 wins, 7 losses. Exactly.
Yeah, there you are.
And Bangalore, I think Bangalore and Deccan went through. Kolkata and who was the fourth? Delhi. Kolkata and Delhi. And Delhi, after winning 7 and 4 and then lost 3 games in a row.
But just talking about predictions, I mean, I know predictions aren't always correct, but we had 180, 172, and when I said 166, people looked at me strangely saying, hello, this is at Wankhede. So, chill, go easy, go higher.
But I think that is the reason. You know, at one point, I thought they were actually doing well because they were going hard. They lost 2 wickets.
They were going for 220, weren't they?
Maybe. I don't know what they were going for, but they lost 2 wickets. They kept on playing shots. But once Manish Pandey got out, I mean, that three wickets was too many. Maybe he needed to be judicious. It's a very easy game from outside the ground. I realize that. But that phase when they lost Manish Pandey and then the terrible run out of Shakib, I think that is where the game took a decisive turn. Once Williamson was gone, there was no coming back.
Also, I believe that this is going to be a genuine problem. And then again, if you had to say these are 3 of their top 5 batsmen, all 3 have got starts. And all 3 have failed to convert those starts. And that's a bit scary for them because, again, I was looking at Shakib's analysis as well. And he's played 49 matches in the IPL, which is a fair amount, and batted fair amount at number 5s and 6s. Okay, he's got 250s. And that means that he's not really the kind of guy who's getting big 50s, 60s, 70s. He's more the 20s, 30s kind of guy. Yeah. In today's IPL, when totals are veering towards 170, 180, you need guys to make 50s and 60s, not 30s and 20s.
I must confess I'm disappointed because at the start of the season, I had said that Shakib Al Hasan would be a key player because someone who can bat in the top 5 and give you 4 overs day in, day out. For Bangladesh, he gets into these situations and he plays so well. Yeah. So I really rate Shakib Al Hasan as a cricketer. I thought he would be the key because he comes in at that 4-5 number, he gives you 4 overs. But Joy's number, absolutely right. I mean, if you're batting at 5, you have to be getting your 50s and 60s.
I can tell you, he's trying to reinvent himself even in the Bangladesh Premier League and in the domestic season. He was really good.
Didn't he bat 3 in the Bangladesh
For
Premier
the first time, he started also for Bangladesh, coming into bat at number 3. Then in the Bangladesh Premier League is where he started wanting to go higher up the order for his franchise, Dhaka Dynamite. So, and he's been scoring runs there and scoring big runs.
I think those 2 players are key to them, Shakib and Manish, because see, Yusuf is giving you as much as you'll get out of Yusuf, and this is at his age, at his level. Now this is production. He'll win 1 or 2 games, he'll run you very close, he'll do some decisive things, but he's not going to do it 4 times a season, 5 times a season.
Is Deepak Hooda injured or what?
I'm wondering. I mean, this lineup cannot afford to bat
Deepak Hooda was just recently picked for the Indian T20 side. He's had a magnificent domestic season, so I don't know about that bit. But what I do know about Manish Pandey is I've looked at Manish Pandey very closely. On big occasions, he bats through. He delivers results for you. He did that in an IPL final. He did that in a game in Sydney. He does that so often. But we've always said, you know what? Manish Pandey doesn't get the breaks that he should get. He doesn't get the consistent run that he should get. He's got it here. Lead batsman of the side. A very crucial number. Every innings he's going to get enough time to bat. This was his chance to show, you know what? Come look at me. What Raidu is doing at CSK, he needed to do that at SRH.
You talked about the price tag though.
I hope that's not putting pressure because I very strongly believe that it's almost seen as a guilt. that you should not be earning that kind of money. It's not his fault. He didn't get it.
Fault.
But can he get affected by it? Can he get affected by it? I'm sure they can.
You can't avoid it. I mean, the first example I took this season was Chris Gayle was playing with no price tag and he looked a different player. Never mind all the other things he was trying to prove. But the fact is, if you look at Chris Gayle vis-a-vis price tag, he was just...
No, even Yusuf, when he came back to Kolkata at a much lower price, he looked a freer man. He looked as if some weight has got off his back. And even now, he's playing in a free. He's saying that, okay, I am giving my team what they paid for me and a bit more. And that's something that always weighs on players' mind. If it does, it's difficult. And I think Manish is feeling that pressure. And I think this is probably the best coaching staff though he can have under the circumstances. They are calm. They're not accusatory. They will sit and talk to him. This is his best chance of making it. Because
I wonder if there's a point to be made, and this might look like a very frivolous point, that if you're getting a large amount of money and you're worried the player is going to get affected by it, just give the player half the money and put in a 20-year bond. And so you'll get...
But the point is, it's not necessarily the player, it's the public. I mean, we haven't been doing it here on Cricbuzz Live, but I can tell you what, for the last few years, you've had graphics up there where we normally talk about statistics and averages, runs per rupee.
True. I mean, you see that in English, in football around the world as well. You think of Neymar, you think of 222, you think of Messi, you think of Ronaldo. They're always playing that one-upmanship game. You think of the Gareth Bale's transfer. You're always thinking, what price was the transfer at? I mean, having said that, football is an out-and-out commercial, price-driven game. IPL will get there, so that is inevitable. And franchises will have to find a way to tell players, it's not your fault. Put that aside and just play like you normally do. But that's so much easier said than done.
We used to have a term for it. It used to be called the Mashrafe-Murtaza effect.
The 6.5 crores, only that time?
Yeah, $625,000, one game. And he was bowling the last over, and he bowled...
Rohit Sharma hit 18 or something last over. That's the
21
one.
runs.
2009.
2009.
Yeah,
everything wrong that could happen to a player, the no ball, everything. It was just...
That. So KL Rahul is the only one with the big price tag who's doing well? Or are there others? I mean, I don't know. Ishan Kishan got a good price tag. He's doing all right.
Ishan and Rishabh are justifying whatever money they got. Nitish Rana also got decent money justifying it as yet.
But the big ones, the double-digit crores, we go KL Rahul, Jaydev Unadkat, Manish Pandey.
Ben Stokes.
He's not justifying it either.
Not at all.
Yeah.
How much did Negi go for this time? He not as much as he went
But he
last
got a
time.
fair amount.
We've got, I believe someone on Twitter as well has a question which is somewhere along the lines of, there you go, let's have a look at this. Seeing how the costly players are feeling the pressure of their price tag, should the auction value of the players be kept a secret and be revealed after the tournament finishes? Now that's something slightly different from giving it in a 10-year bond.
No. If you do that, it's you've got a fixed price, you've got a fixed purse. Everyone's got to get 80 crores, and the auction dynamics, as Joy knows, will change depending on how much money you've got left in your bank to go after a particular player. So how do you not know? How do you not tell someone how much he's got and not tell the public? It's just something you've got to live with. It's something that, I mean, I have seen young graduates come out on fancy salaries and start to think they own the world. I'm not saying that's happening to the players, but they've got to find a way of living with it.
And look, this is the whole point of it, is if you're in sport and you have all the pluses of professional sport, you have to learn to live in a goldfish bowl. And there's no point trying to avoid it. Everyone will know your salary, everyone will know exactly. The analogy I give is that imagine getting out of an office and seeing a big hoarding out there saying, the boss really screamed at you today, didn't he? Because that's exactly what happens to every player. Everybody knows what they did wrong at work. And that's a big problem.
Joy, having said that, they've played for years for very little. And everybody is entitled to their one big payday because they spend a lot of time playing for virtually nothing. All of us in life have done these gigs where we give 100%, slog our backside off virtually nothing. And then one day you get the big payday and you wonder what's he getting the big payday for? He's getting the big payday for all those days that he worked his backside off, delivered and didn't get anything. So we've got to find a way out of this. If I was SRH just now, I wouldn't be thinking about that. I'd be thinking, how am I going to defend 118?
Exactly. I mean, the fact is you can get carried away by a subject like that. Not everyone thinks as sensibly. That's why we have a nation of so many people with so many different views. But how many different views are there going to be in that SRH camp? What are they going to do? The biggest problem is, and we talked about it at the start of the show, if they at least had a Bhuvi and a Stanley coming at, you knew that you had some firepower. Now you've got Basil Thampi, Sandeep Sharma, who are going to be entrusted with 118.
Sandeep Sharma played well in their first game. So they should just forget that they made 118 and say, come, let's see how many wickets we can get.
They'll attack. There's
no choice.
Sandeep will go early with the swing, and you could expect one of the leggies, one of the spinners to come in very early, because they'll say, what do they have to lose?
They need 15 for 3, Joy.
Correct.
They need 15 for 3 with a total like this.
And Rashid Khan, and I promise you this question has nothing to do with my fantasy team. 2 overs, 2 spells rather, for almost 100 runs. That's something that would be hurting them.
I'm telling you, this Mayank Markanday is a better cricketer, right? Just because he's got him in his fantasy.
Who is in your team? Who's your bowling captain?
I told you Markanday at the start of the show.
Is it conflict of interest? Having an anchor here who's
this is
conflict of interest. Let's go to see. Oh, sorry.
Okay, no, but honestly, Rashid Khan,
serious.
I mean,
No,
you've seen him. Whether he takes wickets or not, we've seen in the past, he has spells of 4 overs, 13 runs, no wicket. So even if he's not got you a wicket, he's just kept the runs down. This time, what Gale did to him, and even the next game, 40 plus twice.
He's got to figure it out now, because it will happen to everybody at some point in the IPL, because they analyze you so well. It will happen to everybody at some point. Today is a great day for him to show that he's the highest ranked bowler. It's a great day for him to come and deliver 2, 3 for 15 today.
In fact, we have been talking a lot about Rashid Khan. Inevitably, when Kane Williamson faced the press, one of the first questions he was asked was about Rashid Khan. Is he worried?
Rashid's a world-class bowler, and 2020 cricket is I suppose doesn't make anyone exempt from the fact that anyone can be put under pressure, any bowler can be hit, and that's the nature of the game, and I suppose he's learned a huge amount in such a short period of time. He's played a lot of cricket, and the last couple of games there's been once again a couple of special knocks where people have played Rash really nicely, but he is a world-class bowler and will bounce back well, and it's a tricky one. We keep going into these next games and they're all very tough games, but I think you need to embrace those challenges, and I know he will.
Mild-mannered Kane Williamson, special knocks it took to get Rashid Khan hit out of the park.
If you had a batsman in your side and he delivered 9 times out of 14,
would you take it?
Would you take it? So if a bowler delivered 9 times out of 14,
exactly,
you should be getting the garlands
batsman
out.
Get a very long rope.
No,
You
exactly.
should be getting the garlands out.
I think the question is, you have to ask yourself what went wrong in the last 2 matches. There are 2 things that could have happened. One is they're reading him, which is a bit of a worry for him. B is that they're not reading him, they guessed him right every time. And remember, for a bowler to be over a batsman, all he has to do is have one delivery which they can't read. 5 out of 6 they could read him properly, and 1 he can't, they're still in trouble. So my question is, if they're reading him, if somebody suddenly figured out, okay, when he delivers his googly, this is what happens, and he's signaling it, what they call telegraphing it, then he's in trouble. If not, hey, you could have a day like that any day.
Or maybe they're just playing him as a googly bowler.
They are. I mean, we've talked a lot about the troubles in Sunrisers Hyderabad, but let's give credit to the Mumbai bowlers. They were right on the Markanday, on the mark.
A bit of an obsession, I see.
I was very impressed with Hardik Pandya today. I think the moment you have someone coming back, you see Bumrah's first 2 was expensive, McLennan first 2 was expensive, after 4 overs they're 40. Pandya comes back and picks up 2 wickets
At
for
the
you.
start he wasn't even bowling early on.
Correct, he wasn't.
The season,
so I wonder now if the fitness is kicked in, and if you got 4 pace bowlers playing those roles, then this lineup, this bowling lineup looks really good.
Very potent.
But he came in, he bustled in with energy. This was the Pandya we saw bowling 4 overs for India. This was the Pandya when Virat Kohli said, I'm not playing a 6th bowler. If you remember, he started with RCB like that as well. He said, if I give you a 6th bowler, you will have the safety net of the 6th bowler. You, Hardik Pandya, will have to bowl 4 overs, and he bowled well. And I saw that a little bit of that today. He has to come in and bowl like that.
And the nature of the wickets. We were talking yesterday about when you talk about a lot of wickets, there are some cheap wickets that come to you.
Rubbish wickets,
rubbish wickets.
They call them garbage wickets coming at the end,
But if you look at Hardik Pandya's wickets, not only were they the right players at the right time, but the nature of the dismissal, beating the batsman inside edge to the keeper.
Slightly luckier with Manish Pandey, who tried to play the big shot, caught at cover. But you get your wickets either way. I thought there was hostility there, and that allowed McLennan to come back, that allowed Bumrah to come back earlier. Now suddenly you've got a sixth bowler. So Krunal Pandya can only bowl 2. On another day, you travel somewhere, he'll bowl 4. So I think they'll be very, very, very happy with the way they've bowled today, with the intensity with which they bowled.
Well, we just have to hope they're not out there in the field, they're batting, so we hope the Mumbai Indians batsmen don't have any cake on their gloves. There's going to be a bit of dampness, a bit of
Cake
dew
should
out.
be eaten. I cannot
I'm
stand.
against this exactly.
I cannot stand cake on the face in the
smashed
air.
all
Cake
over.
is to be eaten.
Who put cake on GK's face on his birthday eve?
I have no idea. I wasn't here.
Somebody did.
I just one little touch, but Zach went for it.
That's the
Old
man.
Indian team dressing room
Eat
habit.
cake. Yeah, Mumbai Indians' plan should be get there with 5 overs left, 2 or 3 down, not more. 5 overs left, and then go and eat the cake.
Fair enough. You can have your cake and eat it too. That's the moral of the story. We'll come back and wrap up. Just how quickly we'll come up depends on the Mumbai Indians batsman. We'll see you shortly after the game. Cricbuzz Live.